Hi. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here and in this wonderful space. I haven't given you a talk for a while, so I'm looking forward to this. What? Okay. My title is Cultivating Change. So, because I personally am going through a lot of change right now with breast cancer, not at the same time as the coronavirus pandemic, which I thought was quite interesting. So I was reading Marianne Williamson's book, A Gift of Change, and then I was here last week, and I found this book, Why Me? Why This? Why Now? By Robin Norwood. It's a guide to answering life's toughest questions. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, I was feeling healthy. I thought I was immune to disease because I've always been so positive about my life. I have 3 jobs. I love all of these 3 jobs. They're very creative, and there was very little in my life to be stressed about. So I might have been more stressed than I admitted. But I healed fairly quickly, and I feel healthy, and I'm aging slowly, I think. I kept thinking, what could be better? So I feel very lucky right now. I try more these days to actually live in the present moment, and I believe I'm succeeding at that. I feel good right now. I'm starting radiation. I started radiation this week, and I'll be irradiated every day for the next 6 weeks. And when I'm lying on that hard table, it's so surreal. I just have to laugh. I get on the table and I laugh, because there's this giant machine going around me and buzzing at me. It's extraordinary. What is there about life that brings this kind of technology that we need, that I need for my survival? It's just so funny. It's funny. It's just funny. So I was wondering. I was wondering if one reason for me to get cancer was, is it to know that I am loved? So funny. Because not once as a child do I remember being told, I love you. Not once as a child. I grew up in a very angry household. And I remember fun, creative times with my sisters. I remember baking incessantly and eating what we baked. And I remember quiet times, a lot of time alone, and I read books most of the time. So you, all of you, and Larry and Alex are my family, and you never hesitate to let me know that you love me. Can you imagine how powerful that is? You offer to help. You feed me. You support me in so many ways. You send cards with love notes in them. I feel so loved. So I want you to give yourself some credit. About how I feel so loved. So this cancer is not a curriculum I thought I would have chosen for myself, but it's obvious to me in every respect that it has a purpose. And I've decided that that in every way that's possible for me, I will use this experience the best way I can to learn what spiritual lessons I need to, and to see what can be shared with others. I asked, kind of early on, I asked myself, why me? And the answer I got back was, because you can teach better than some. And I thought, I don't want that answer. I don't need that answer. But actually, it's a perfect answer. It's a perfect answer. So Robin Norwood talks about how we cycle in and out of many lifetimes to create for ourselves the clearest path possible. Like Prema Chodron says, things come together and things fall apart. So in some of our lifetimes, things come together. In some of our lifetimes, things fall apart. And actually, they do that throughout each of our lifetimes. And I've met many clear people. I've met many enlightened people. But I don't think I've met anyone who is close to finishing their progress in and out of many lifetimes. I don't think I have. So one thing that was interesting to me is that even when I received the diagnosis of invasive ductal carcinoma, I did not, I said, okay. I said to myself, well, okay. And I didn't ever get upset or very sad or very angry, except in the briefest of times. And I think it's because I've learned so much being in this community, being so much a part of your lives, and you have been so much a part of my life. So I've decided to make the best of it. I can do this. I can survive this. I can use everything to make a better life. Like Prema Chodron says, things come together and things fall apart. And I'm not sure, are things coming together right now for me, or are they falling apart? I don't know. I think it's both. I don't. I can't judge, but I have some ideas, and so I thought I wanted to share some of the things I'm learning about as I go through this process. I think I'm using my awareness more. I think I'm able to look within for answers and to listen for the answers. And we all have the answers within us, just as we have all the questions within us. Carl Jung said, and this is wonderful, your visions will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. So remember to look inside and to listen. So another idea I have is remembering some words of Hugh Prather, who said something like, your spirit will rise to the occasion. And I find this true all the time. When I'm confronted with a difficult situation or just a difficult emotion, a fear of some kind, I notice that, and this is true for all of us in different ways, our spirits rise to the occasion to understand, to feel, to experience what's going on. And our task is not to judge our reactions to things. So another idea I've really noticed and that feels quite important to me is surrendering to what is. So my cancer was not detected early, kind of in a medium state. The tumor was quite large in my right breast, and I had heard and read a lot about naturally healing cancer, and I said, you know, this is invasive ductal carcinoma. I think I'm just going to go with the hospital, with the oncology people, with the allopathic version of healing what's going on with me. Surrendering, so I'm surrendering to what is. So it's a whole long, I think it's going to be a year, well, it is going to be a year-long process of healing. But surrendering is not giving up. Surrendering is letting go. And we have a choice to not be afraid of anything that's happening. We have a choice not to be afraid of our fears and all of our other feelings. Eckhart Tolle says, give yourself lots of space. Give your thoughts, give your feelings lots of space. And he calls it expansive awareness. So another thought I've had, and I'm still working hard at this one, trust the timing of your soul. Really trust that this is the right thing happening at the right time. We can continually, at the same time, ask for strength and for understanding, and that this is, in fact, a perfect path, a perfect way, a perfect outcome. So I've been, I've been to the hospital so many times, but until the middle of February, I had not been there for myself. I'd always been there for other people. And for years, I've been to the hospital, both big hospitals. And all of a sudden I was going for myself. So that was quite a big that was quite a big change to, so I'm using my surrendering and I'm using my trust and trying to understand and accept that there is a larger purpose. There's a larger purpose for everything that we experience. Everything that we experience. And I've always embraced challenges because I think challenges of every kind help us grow. So, and I don't know where it was I read that we simply must have challenges in order to move forward in our lives. So I've also tried to keep a strong vision of wellness because even from the beginning I said, this really sucks. This process really sucks, but I know I'm going to get through it. And I had a friend in Los Alamos who always said, what did he say? Something like, this is really horrible, but I'm going to, and the worst part of it is I'm going to get through it. So there really are times that we would rather die. There really truly are times that we would rather die than go through what we have to go through. So this is what I wrote, a strong vision of wellness, keeping a strong vision of wellness. Yes, I have cancer, which is a terrible disease, but cancer does not have me. I'm not a victim. And many times we will choose self-pity, but it does not. It will serve, self-pity will serve us in the long run, but it's not as much fun. Definitely not as much fun. So another idea that I liked, that I believe I learned when I was studying Buddhism, and that is detachment. I am in this world, but not of it. I am responsible, and I'm not to blame. I am not at fault. I am not guilty. All these things, I'll say these again because I think they are important. And they have to do with a detachment. I am responsible, but not to blame. I am not at fault. I am not guilty. So we're asked to do what we can to educate ourselves. And this way we lessen our fears. And we will all have suffering at some point in our lives. And giving our suffering as much space as we give our emotions. We're asked to understand that we are not all these things that are happening to us and around us. We share in the shadows and the darkness of life. We share because we're all humans sharing a planet together. But we are divine beings. And as divine inspiration comes to us, we heal. We willingly change and heal from our fears and anxieties and find ways, we absolutely find ways to understand more fully the bigger picture and to own everything that's happening. There's a line from the Course in Miracles that Francis Petritus reminded me of. The holiest place on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love. And that's about change. That's about changing our attitudes. That's about changing everything. And she would consistently remind me, everything is a gift. That's nothing I wanted to hear all the time, but she had a way. And I'll say it again. Everything is a gift. Healing happens in our hearts. Everything we do, everything we think, everything we feel has to return and find a way through the heart for the healing of our thoughts, for the healing of our lives. So one thing that I like to do is go to my computer and Google surrender, or Google love, or Google compassion quotes, surrender quotes. And one thing it does for me is really lift my heart. It really lifts my thoughts in so many ways. And it's just so simple. I don't have to go find a book that I can't find, or I don't have to look around anywhere. I'm often at my computer anyway, so there I am. And as I said before, be willing to see the bigger picture. As we heal ourselves, we heal each other, and I really feel that as I go through cancer, you are going through cancer with me, because I'm totally sharing my experiences, and you're very good at listening. You're very good at listening. So the better I do, the better you do. You inspire me. You inspire me. So I had a couple experiences that I wanted to talk about, because I think it's important to be open to experiences as you go through difficulties, whether small ones or large ones. I hope you will have experiences that inspire hope. So between chemo number 2 and chemo number 3, I woke up in the night and I was lying on my back and floating through the stars in a sparkling river, of stars, probably. I just felt so wonderful. And I tried, of course, to keep that image as long as I could. It didn't last very long, but it did leave me feeling better. It left me feeling better. It left me feeling more hopeful. And another time, this was the night after my surgery, which was about 6 weeks ago. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I felt really good. I felt good. It made just being able to say those words to myself made me feel really good. Of course, it was very quickly followed by the words, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me." So just be open. Be open. Louise Hay said, and I keep this card somewhere. I don't have it with me right now, but I copied it out. If you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And this can be difficult or easy or simple or complicated. It can be as simple as thinking better of myself. It can be, but I think it behooves us to be willing to do something we have never done. And of course, that's where the challenge comes. And it's good, and we have to do it. We just have to do it. Things, opportunities, especially if we ask, opportunities will come to us to do things we've never done. And part of it is what Carol talked about a few weeks ago, seeing things differently. Seeing things differently. It's important to remember that our lives, at a spiritual level, our lives are unfolding exactly as they should. And we don't, of course, we don't always remember this. But many spiritual teachings talk about how our souls arrange for our lifetimes before we come into this incarnation. How our souls talk to God and say, I will experience this. I am ready to experience this particular thing in my lifetime. And it's not always possible to remember the importance of those words, because we think we know what other people on this path should be choosing or should have chosen. But we truly never know what the truth is for another person. And I think it helps us greatly to remember that. So the next person that is acting rather odd in your presence, in whatever way we act odd to each other, to remember that that's their path. And I have to remember that quite often. Change keeps happening. Unique opportunities will consistently show up. And we are constantly learning through all the events that we encounter to help create a perfect balance. I really believe that one thing we are doing, one thing I'm doing with cancer is making an effort to create a perfect balance. And I don't know how this happens. I don't know which way to look at it. But I do believe that it's part of my path on the way to creating a perfect balance. And we don't know the outcome of anything in our future, basically. But we can choose to be at peace. And that's it. And now it's your turn. One of the most exciting parts for me.